You are not behaving. I'm behaving.
Davranıyorum.
Were my cousins actors? When my cousins are actors.
Kuzenlerim oyuncularken.
Was his wife president? Co-chairmanship?
Eş başkanlığı.
He is not seldom a trainer. Those neighbors are not trainers.
O komşular eğitmen değildir.
His friend was a manager. His friend was a manager.
Arkadaşı yöneticiydi.
Isn't he usually a greengrocer? Isn't he usually a greengrocer?
O genellikle manav değil mi?
My father was the weatherman. My father was the weatherman.
Babam hava durumu sunucusuydu.
You were organized. You were organized.
Örgütlüydün.
Can they watch? Can they watch?
İzleyebilirler mi?
You do not approve. You do not approve.
Onaylamıyorsun.
Will he throw? Will he throw?
Atacak mı?
You won't be a cleaner every week. You won't be a cleaner every week.
Her hafta temizlikçi olmayacaksın.
May not push. May not push.
İtmeyebilir.
Were we pharmacists a month ago? Drive a month ago?
Bir ay önce götürmek.
Aren't you going to be a gynecologist at 2 a.m.? Aren't you going to be a gynecologist at 2 a.m.?
Gece yarısı 2'de jinekolog olmayacak mısın?
Shouldn't he be a carpenter right away? Shouldn't he be a carpenter right away?
Hemen marangozluk yapması gerekmiyor mu?
Then they mine. Then they are mining.
Daha sonra madencilik yapıyorlar.
You must not suffer. Must suffer.
Acı çekmeli.
We're doing architecture right now. We're doing architecture right now.
Hemen mimarlık yapıyoruz.
We play next year. We play next year.
Seneye oynarız.
Isn't he a locksmith every month? Doesn't the locksmith spread every month?
Her ay çilingir yayılmıyor mu?
It may not decide after 5 seconds. It may not decide after 5 seconds.
5 saniye sonra karar vermeyebilir.
Is his half-brother a fielder? Is his half-brother a fielder?
Üvey kardeşi saha görevlisi mi?
Your grandparents are lumberjacks. Your grandparents are lumberjacks.
Senin dedelerin oduncu.
Do I have to teach in a minute? Do I have to teach in a minute?
1 dakika sonra ders vermem gerekiyor mu?
His wife is an anesthesiologist. His wife is an anesthesiologist.
Karısı anestezisti.
Will they reply every week? Will they reply every week?
Her hafta cevap verecekler mi?
You could have been a butcher earlier at 1 a.m. Could have been the butcher earlier at 1 a.m.
Daha önce gece yarısı 1'de kasap olabilirdi.
We couldn't ignore it a week ago. We couldn't ignore it a week ago.
Bir hafta önce görmezden gelemezdik.
Are your grandchildren investors? Are your grandchildren investors?
Torunlarınız yatırımcı mı?
Our father was an alchemist. Our father was an alchemist.
Babamız simyacıydı.
Have they lost a weekend before? Have they lost a weekend before?
Daha önce bir hafta sonu mu kaybettiler?
His mother was a firefighter. His mother was a firefighter.
Annesi itfaiyeciydi.
My wife was a sailor. I was a sailor.
Ben denizciydi.
Couldn't he be a golfer a century from now? Couldn't he be a golfer a century from now?
Bir asır sonra golfçu olamaz mı?
Your uncle was a courier. Your uncle was a courier.
Amcan kuryeydi.
2 weeks doesn't matter. 2 weeks doesn't matter.
2 hafta merak etmiyor.
Won't we know? Won't we know?
Bilmeyecek miyiz?
Are we ecologist a century from now? Are we ecologist a century from now?
Bir asır sonra ekolojist miyiz?
Was his half-brother the cook's assistant? His half-brother cook's assistant?
Üvey kardeşi aşçı yardımcısı.
Don't I agree at sunrise? Don't I agree at sunrise?
Gün doğarken anlaşmaz mıyım?
Travel agency 3 months ago. Travel agency 3 months ago.
3 ay önce seyahat acentesi.
Will I ask after 4 nights? Will I ask after 4 nights?
4 gece sonra soracak mıyım?
May not improve at sunrise. It may not be fixed on your birthday.
Doğum gününde düzelmeyebilir.
Does it work every month? Does it work every month?
Her ay idare eder mi?
Can we let you know next year? Can we let you know next year?
Gelecek yıl bilgi verebilir miyiz?
Isn't there a proxy at night? Isn't there a proxy at night?
Gece vakti vekil olmaz mı?
Do you forget? Do you forget?
Unutuyor musun?
Is that sign? Or sign?
Veya işaret mi?
Can monthly start? Can monthly start?
Aylık başlayabilir mi?
I can't save often. I can't save often.
Sık kaydedemiyorum.
Can't she do groceries every 2 weeks? A fortnightly grocery show?
2 haftada bir manav gösterisi mi?
I should not create. I should not create.
Yaratmamalıyım.
You should sell. You should sell.
Satmalısın.
You didn't wear it before at 3 a.m. You didn't wear it before at 3 a.m.
Daha önce gece yarısı 3'te giymedin.
Were there kids firefighters? Kids fireman's cage?
Çocukları itfaiyeci kafesi.
Can I bloom weekly? Can I bloom weekly?
Haftalık çiçek açabilir miyim?
Is your neighbor an actuary? Is your neighbor an actuary?
Komşunuz aktüer mi?
We will include earlier. We will include earlier.
Daha önce dahil edeceğiz.
You stay 2 minutes earlier. You stay 2 minutes earlier.
2 dakika önce kalırsın.
We should read it once a year. We should read it once a year.
Yılda bir okumalıyız.
Was her neighbor a dietitian? Neighbor dietitian transmission?
Komşusu diyetisyen iletimi.
We destroy every day. We destroy every day.
Her gün yok ediyoruz.
They shouldn't hit. They must hit.
Vurmaları gerekir.
Are his siblings rulers? Are his siblings rulers?
Kardeşleri yönetici mi?
Was our grandmother a tailor? Our grandmother is a tailor?
Annemiz terzi.
Sometimes the manager. Sometimes the manager.
Bazen müdür.
Can it renew 2 weeks? Can it renew 2 weeks?
2 haftayı yenileyebilir mi?
You take advantage. You take advantage.
Sen faydalan.
Was his friend a paramedic? His friend is the Ministry of Health prison?
Arkadaşı Sağlık Bakanlığı hapishanesi.
That's when it appeared. That's when it appeared.
O zaman ortaya çıktı.
Will it attack at night? Will it attack at night?
Gece vakti saldıracak mı?
Doesn't he usually butcher? Does not play butchery?
Oynatma kasaplık yapmaz mı?
Neighbor hematologist. Neighbor hematologist.
Komşusu hematolog.
Your brothers were merchants. He was a merchant of merchants.
Tüccarların tüccarıydı.
Should I return now? Should I return now?
Şimdi dönmeli miyim?
Does not shake at dawn. Does not shake at dawn.
Şafak vakti sallanmıyor.
Now he refuses. Now he refuses.
Şimdi reddediyor.
After 2 seconds you should be an alchemist. Become an alchemist in 2 seconds.
2 saniye sonra simyacı olun.
Aren't we hiding? Isn't it hidden?
Saklanmıyor mu?
Shouldn't it always fly? Shouldn't it always fly?
Her zaman uçması gerekmiyor mu?
You can save soon. You can save soon.
Yakında kaydedebilirsin.
Was his brother a landscape architect? His brother is a landscape architect?
Kardeşi peyzaj mimarı.
After 5 nights, we may not be the housekeeper. After 5 nights, we may not be the housekeeper.
5 gece sonra kahya olmayabiliriz.
Aren't we going to be chemists in a week? Aren't we going to be chemists in a week?
Bir hafta sonra kimyager olmayacak mıyız?
We must sign. Our people.
Bizimkiler.
Did I call 10 years? Decade meeting?
10 yılı toplantısı mı?
It is not prompted after 1 second. It is not prompted after 1 second.
Bir saniye sonra istenmez.
Could not give weekly. Could not give weekly.
Haftalık veremezdi.
Isn't he always a philosopher? Isn't he always a philosopher?
Her zaman filozof değil mi?
Wouldn't I be a manager in 4 weeks? Can't I have a manager in 4 weeks?
4 hafta sonra müdürüm olmaz mı?
Was your half-sister a researcher? Your half-sister's investigator?
Üvey kardeşin araştırmacısı.
You stay 2 minutes earlier. You stay 2 minutes earlier.
2 dakika önce kalırsın.
We can't get it after a month. We can't get it after a month.
Bir ay sonra alamıyoruz.
Should I teach at night? Are you going to teach at night?
Gece vakti öğretmenlik mi yapacaksın?
Wouldn't I be a manager in 4 weeks? Can't I have a manager in 4 weeks?
4 hafta sonra müdürüm olmaz mı?
Couldn't he come in? Can't enter?
Giremez.
Noon could not calculate. Noon could not calculate.
Öğlen hesaplayamadı.
Can you win in the night time? Can you win in the night time?
Gece vakti kazanabilir misin?
Their cousin is the air traffic controller. Their cousin is the air traffic controller.
Kuzenleri hava trafik kontrolörü.
Your brother's air traffic controller. Your brother's air traffic controller.
Kardeşin hava trafik kontrolörü.
Your stepfather was the referee. Your stepfather was the referee.
Üvey baban hakemdi.
Is your daughter a botanist? Is your daughter a botanist?
Kızınız botanikçi mi?
Our grandchildren are anthropologists. Our grandchildren are anthropologists.
Torunlarımız antropolog.
Your uncle is the bartender. Your uncle is the bartender.
Amcan barmen.
Archaeologist would not be 10 years. Archaeologist for 10 years.
Arkeolog 10 yıl boyunca.
Can't I race car driver after 2 hours? Can't I race car driver after 2 hours?
2 saat sonra araba sürücüsü yarışamaz mıyım?
You should give. You should give.
Vermelisin.
Isn't it hate? Isn't it hate?
Nefret değil mi?
Do we lose in the night time? Can we come at night time?
Gece vakti gelebilir miyiz?
Was her sister a farmer? Did her sister farmer enter?
Ablası çiftçi girdi mi?
Did he kiss? Did he kiss?
Öptü mü?
Do they usually play games? Do they usually play games?
Genellikle oyunlar oynarlar mı?
Were their uncles senators? Were their uncles senators?
Amcaları senatör müydü?
We were not rarely sheriffs. We were not rarely sheriffs.
Nadiren şerif değildik.
Didn't they mention? Did they talk?
Konuştular mı?
They shouldn't say. They must say.
Söylemeleri gerekir.
Was his stepfather a shop assistant? Her stepdad is a shop assistant gone?
Üvey babası tezgahtar gitmiş.
I can exclude. I can exclude.
Hariç tutabilirim.
Is their spouse the second man? Is their spouse the second man?
Eşleri ikinci adam mı?
Could he never be a servant? Could he never be a servant?
O asla uşak olamaz mı?
Should not be created often. Should not be created often.
Sık sık yaratmamalı.
Your friend is a jeweler. Your friend is a jeweler.
Arkadaşın kuyumcu.
Are their mothers cops? Are their mothers cops?
Anneleri polis mi?
His friends were scientists. His friend was a scientist.
Arkadaşı bilim adamıydı.
They rarely think. The accents don't think.
Aksamlar düşünmezler.
Is her stepbrother a ranger? Is her stepbrother a ranger?
Üvey kardeşi korucu mu?
I have not suffered for a week. I have not suffered for a week.
Haftalık acı çekmedim.
Is his brother a geographer? Is his brother a geographer?
Kardeşi coğrafyacı mı?
I've changed. I've changed.
Ben değiştim.
May not be a weekly investor. Cannot be a weekly investor.
Haftalık yatırımcı olamaz.
They couldn't paint at night. There were painting reviews at night.
Geceleri resim incelemeleri vardı.
My cousins are illusionists. My cousins are illusionists.
Kuzenlerim illüzyonisttir.
Shouldn't I mix? Should I mix?
Karıştırmalı mıyım?
Is it monthly limited? Is it monthly limited?
Aylık sınırladı mı?
Their grandmother was a cop. Grandmother's police.
Büyükanneleri polisi.
Should I coach one afternoon? Should I coach after one birth?
Bir doğumdan sonra koçluk yapmalı mıyım?
Wouldn't it be an investment at dawn? No investment at dawn?
Şafakta yatırım olmaz mı?
It wasn't like. It wasn't like.
Gibi değildi.
We are not the rule every month. We will not be the rule every month.
Her ay kural olmayacağız.
Am I the referee every day? Am I the referee every day?
Ben her gün hakem miyim?
Rarely can it tick? Rarely can it tick?
Nadiren işaretleyebilir mi?
His nephew is a lawyer. His nephew is a lawyer.
Yeğeni avukattır.
Can't I be an occasional beekeeper? Can't I be an occasional beekeeper?
Ara sıra arıcı olamaz mıyım?
Didn't he always translate? Don't they always translate?
Hep tercüme etmezler mi?
Is your grandson a trainer? Granddaughter trainer?
Torunu eğitmeni mi?
His grandfather is a businessman. His grandfather is a businessman.
Onun dedesi iş adamıdır.
Won't I be retiring soon? Won't I be retiring soon?
Yakında emekli olmayacak mıyım?
Didn't he wait every week? Didn't she wait for the week?
Onu hafta beklemedi mi?
Can she become a hairdresser later? Could it be a hairdresser later?
Daha sonra kuaför olabilir.
We shouldn't stay every day. We shouldn't stay every day.
Her gün kalmamalıyız.
My grandchildren were psychiatrists. My grandchildren psychiatrist.
Torunlarım psikiyatristi.
Then he is convinced. Then he is convinced.
Sonra ikna olur.
Are you painting at sunrise? Are you painting at sunrise?
Gün doğarken resim mi yapıyorsun?
You cannot comment after midnight. You cannot comment after midnight.
Gece yarısından sonra yorum yapamazsınız.
Were our parents riders? Are our parents far-reaching?
Anne babamız geniş kapsamlı mı?
After 5 months, he can become a driver. After 5 months, he can become a driver.
5 ay sonra şoförlük yapabilir.
You won't be a cleaner every week. You won't be a cleaner every week.
Her hafta temizlikçi olmayacaksın.
Do they always come back? Do they always come back?
Her zaman geri dönerler mi?
Will not sound. Will not be voiced.
Seslendirilmeyecek.
Couldn't he be a poet then? Couldn't he be a poet then?
O zaman şair olamaz mı?
You shouldn't judge. You shouldn't judge.
Yargılamamalısın.
Isn't he afraid? Isn't he afraid?
Korkmuyor mu?
Sold 1 month ago. I removed it 1 month ago.
Bir ay önce kaldırıyorum.
Won't I be retiring soon? Won't I be retiring soon?
Yakında emekli olmayacak mıyım?
Do they rarely get points? Rarely get points?
Nadiren puan almak mı?
Should not shoot at sunset. Should not shoot at sunset.
Gün batımında çekmemelidir.
Not immersed. Not immersed.
Dalmış değil.
3 weeks later becomes a midwife. 3 weeks later becomes a midwife.
3 hafta sonra ebe olur.
Couldn't I have owned a house 4 centuries ago? Can't I own a house before 4 centuries?
400 yıldan önce ev sahibi olamaz mıyım?
His neighbor was an esthetician. His neighbor was an esthetician.
Komşusu estetisyendi.
Can we imply 5 centuries ahead? Can we imply 5 centuries ahead?
5 asır sonrasını ima edebilir miyiz?
He was playing every day. He was playing every day.
Her gün oynuyordu.
Did not reflect. Did not reflect.
Yansıtmadı.
After 5 months, he can become a driver. After 5 months, he can become a driver.
5 ay sonra şoförlük yapabilir.
Couldn't it then broadcast 4 a.m.? Couldn't it then broadcast 4 a.m.?
Daha sonra sabah 4'ü yayınlayamaz mı?
His uncle is a urologist. His uncle is a urologist.
Amcası ürolog.
Wouldn't it be a clerk? Will it never be a clerk?
Tezgahtar asla olmaz mı?
His stepfather is a surgeon. His stepfather is a surgeon.
Üvey babası cerrahtır.
Her mother-in-law is a minister. Her mother-in-law is a minister.
Kayınvalidesi bakandır.
Was your stepfather a greengrocer? Your stepdad is a greengrocer?
Üvey baban manav çıkmak.
Were their children lawyers? Are their kids with their lawyers?
Çocukları avukatları yanında mı?
His brother-in-law is a joker. His brother-in-law is a joker.
Kayınbiraderi şakacı.
Your grandparents are waiters. Your grandparents are waiters.
Büyükanne ve büyükbaban garson.
I'm worthy. I'm worthy.
Ben yakışırım.
Can he play? Can I play?
Oynayabilir miyim?
Was her husband a philosopher? Is her husband philosophers?
Kocası filozoflar mı?
Is my stepdaughter an apprentice? Step tissue apprentice?
Üvey doku çırak mı?
Your cousins are journalists. Your cousins are journalists.
Kuzenleriniz gazeteciler.
Are you getting close to the weekly? Are you coming weekly?
Haftalık geliyorsunuz.
We don't get caught weekly. We don't get caught weekly.
Haftalık olarak yakalanmıyoruz.
Would he carry? To carry?
Taşımak.
Did we dress up last year? Did you dress up last year?
Geçen yıl giyinir miydiniz?
You were getting married. You were getting married.
Sen evleniyordun.
That's when it appeared. That's when it appeared.
O zaman ortaya çıktı.
Isn't it hopeless after a day? Isn't it hopeless after a day?
Bir gün sonra umutlanmaz mı?
4 days ago interested. 4 days ago interested.
4 gün önce ilgileniyor.
Was their spouse a reporter? Peers data storage?
Eşleri veri depolama.
Can you send it after 3 in the morning? Can you send it after 3 in the morning?
Sabah 3'ü sonra gönderebilir misin?